Hey there, folks. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy, and I'd like to ask you if you could take a moment to head over to my channel sponsor, Dubby, at G.I.G. They have a wide assortment of different energy drink powders that you can put in your water if you'd like to avoid soda and high levels of sugar. You can use the code the G.I.G for 10% off of your entire order, and it would be helpful to the channel. Thank you very much. Hey there, folks. Andre, the Game Idea Guy here, and you see the title. Can I say I was right? I've been saying I was right, and I can tell you right now what I foresee happening if Nintendo is successful with this particular lawsuit of the guy that decided that he was going to pirate their games, play their pirated games on stream, and then mock the company because he could do this all day. Well, let's see if you can do it all day in court. Dude, I've said it multiple times over. If people would stop promoting that they are pirating, stop showing off where you're getting your stuff from, stop gloating about it online, stop pushing the idea, because people will get got. I said as much multiple times when I've covered the subject of emulation and piracy, because emulation isn't piracy, but there are some non-legal means to emulate, because you have to circumvent copyright protections, or protections against hacking, in order to be able to emulate many different games when it comes down to Nintendo, because they have encryptions. I've said this multiple times over, but I've also said that if more people bought the games and did this, it probably wouldn't have been a big issue. Now Nintendo's going wholesale on it. They're going wholesale on it, and I can't even be mad at them for going wholesale on it, because there have been people going about online gloating the hell about it. So, for all of you people that have posted on X and different platforms, and especially that one guy that did the whole middle finger thing, y'all might want to start taking your posts down. This may be your last opportunity to save your own butt. I mean, I can't guarantee it, because it depends on how many people their legal teams have scoured. There's no way this dude is the only target. No way. He's the first target. He's the warning shot, but he's not the only target. Trust and believe he's not the only target, and I can tell you that right away, because I know what strategy I would employ. and look, just for the sake of things, I have guessed how Nintendo will move very recently, very often. So, I'm not saying I'm going to be correct, so take whatever I say with a grain of salt, but please do consider what I say and think about it, especially if you are someone who is pirating their stuff. If you're pirating their stuff, please do it with caution. I don't want to see people get locked up or get completely penalized, but I don't control that. Now, the petty side of me would do this. I would gather as much information on as many different people as possible that promote piracy and illegal emulation. Not that emulation is illegal, but there are ways you can emulate and it still be illegal, as we just stated. But I would go after people who are pirating and illegally emulating. I would gather as much information as I can on those people. I would get, especially the more popular people on the net that are doing it, videos of them doing it, videos of them showing it off, videos of them talking about it. And you know, the sad thing is for me, that means a lot of people that I actually like to watch more than likely are going to go down. That they're more than likely going to go down because it's not a personal I don't like you thing. It's a all-encompassing shut it all down thing. That sucks. That sucks a lot. That sucks a hell of a lot. But it's gonna be what it's gonna be. So if anybody's trying to collect ROMs or whatever, you might want to start doing it now. Trust and believe this is not going to end well. This ain't going to end well at all. And obviously there's going to be sites that crop up and things of that nature. There's going to be many of them that pop up. But depending on where their market is, they're going to be taken down. And probably with the quickness. As long as Nintendo wins this case. There's a super slim chance that they won't. Super slim, because you got to keep that in mind. But yeah, they're definitely going for it. Didn't they went for the guy that was doing the Switch carts, the Switch R4 carts? Because it shows all people can circumvent having to purchase their games. And they gave the guy a warning. And let's also put this out there. They gave this guy a warning as well. They gave him fair warning, told him to stop. He kept doing it and taunted them. The other guy got a fair warning. Didn't stop. After he said he would stop. So you can see why they went after him. And even though I know the video itself is fake, there is a guy that goes into a game store, picks up a game in the case, and slides the game into a reader, and then puts the game back in the case and puts the cart for the reader into the Switch, and then they play it. So I know the video is faked because the store that supposedly happened in doesn't keep the games in the cases. They keep them behind the register. But it's an example of what could happen. So whoever did that, you were a genius, but not for the reasons you thought. I don't know. I've said it multiple times over. Stop flaunting what you're doing. Stop. Because none of the people that are social media driven would ever be able to keep a secret. Never would they be able to. I thrive off of social media in some capacity myself, but I also know how to hold back information I'm not supposed to talk about, or not put forward things that I shouldn't be talking about that I know could catch heat. I know how to do that, depending on the subject. But when I saw that, all I wanted to do was laugh. I know what's happening. I know several people off the top of my head that are already targets. I know several people off the top of my head that are already targets. And anybody listening that's in the comment section probably knows too. Probably already know. You probably already got the first one in your head. You already got the first one in your head. And somebody's going to put it down in the comments. I'm betting someone's going to put it down in the comments. I'm not going to say it. I've said his name before. Called him out before. Even though I've liked his stuff, I've called him out before. But this time I'm not going to do it. Probably a little bit pettiness. I mean, just understand, it's a little bit of my pettiness. But this is not where it stops. This is where it starts. Now, if the gaming community decides, hey, let's just take the warning and take a step back, chill out, things may be cool from here going forward. But knowing the hyper-reactive thought processes that flow through social media and how people will go to bat to tell you you're wrong for defending your stuff, chances are we're going to get a bunch of posts like the idiot that went ahead and put up the middle finger and showed the piracy site and showed that they were downloading Nintendo games. I honestly expect that response more. I expect more people to do that, and then each one of them get tagged in a massive lawsuit, because many of them believe that even if they're using a VPN that they're safe, which you are not. Comes down to legal battles, VPN can't protect you. They cannot. They will be overridden by the government. So you gotta be careful with that. You gotta be careful with that. And even if they could protect you, that would be at the cost to them. That would be at the cost to their brand. And they probably don't want that. They probably legitimately don't want that, because they would have to pay millions upon millions to protect you. So that's another thing you gotta think about. Oh man. But again, if it was me, gather up information on multiple people. As more people crop up, gather more information on them. Get IP addresses, any information that links to them in the real world. Oh yes, I'm snagging it, or I'm having my teams snag it, which I'm pretty sure Nintendo is doing. It's one thing to say you like emulation and you like being able to go back to classic older games and be able to play them again. It's another thing totally to go ahead and start taking games that are currently on the market and taking them and moving them to another platform. I've said multiple times over that this is technically illegal. I've also said multiple times over we need a case of precedence for this type of stuff. And Nintendo picked the perfect target for them to win. Again, there's still a chance they would lose, but they picked the perfect target for them to win. And if they win, that establishes a precedent. Again, I'm no legal expert. I mean, I'd base myself generally in logic, and legality usually falls on the air of logic. Not always, but usually. So I think there's a high chance what I'm saying is going to be right. I think there's a high chance that what I'm saying is going to happen. I think there's a high chance that the things that I said I would do are already happening or already have happened. So yeah, people. Yeah. You just people like to poke the bear. You like to poke the bear until the bear swipes back and takes your face off. Then you're crying about how the bear attacked you, even though you poked the bear. You poked the bear. The bear was leaving you alone. You poked the bear. You went into the forest and poked the bear. The bear didn't chase you down. The bear let you get close enough and messed you up. That was your fault. Those were your actions. Those were your choices that you decided to broadcast publicly. That was on you. So don't get mad at the bear for swiping back at you when you walked over with the stick like a giddy little child and poked at it several times. You made that decision. So when it attacks, the consequences are on your hands. Simple as that. Simple as that. For the people that think I'm coming in here gobbling up on Nintendo or dick riding them, I'm not. But I think about this from the position of someone who makes their own stuff too. Someone who writes their own books. Someone who writes poetry. Someone who's making word search books. If you take what I have made and distribute it without paying me, we have a problem. Simple as that. That's the angle I'm thinking of it from. So if I make something and I put it up for sale and you decide that you're going to circumvent paying for it, and you potentially distribute it, or you show off where it's distributed from, I have every legal right to go after you. I mean, it would take too much work to go after the people that also pull from what you've shown, but it's easy enough to go out after you and make an example of you for what you have done. Because guess what? You're the one that brought attention to it. You're the one that made it you made it prevalent to people. So if people want to steal from me because of you, I'm going after you. You're the source. Is that simple enough to understand? Is that easy enough to follow? So, again, Andre was right about something. Andre doesn't get the press because Andre's not big enough, but Andre was right. This is one of those times I do wish I was bigger, because I think I could have affected in a more, potentially understanding way, get people to think about what they're doing before they do it. This is one of those instances I kind of do wish I was bigger, because even with the pettiness in me, I would rather help people than hurt them. The petty side of me gets a kick out of them, ramming their own heads into the wall. But the nice side of me doesn't want to see them ram themselves into the wall if they can avoid it. So, people, just understand that you're setting yourself up for failure if you want to go about posting online what you're stealing. It's one thing that you do it. It's another thing to go about gloating over it. And guess what? If Nintendo is successful with this, guess what's going to happen with all of the other game companies? Because Sega's already moving. If y'all don't know, Sega's already making moves to take stuff down. Sega's been getting prepared for this, so they had to have been in talks with Nintendo the whole time. But if Sega falls in line, that means that other companies like Capcom, Konami, they're going to fall in line. Sony and Microsoft are going to fall in line. A lot of the bigger third parties, EA would definitely fall in line for this. All of the other companies will start falling in line for this. So again, watch as the dominoes start to fall into place. Just, again, I'm making sense of the situation based on what I see and what the potential outcomes are, going with what I deem the most likely. Y'all didn't want to listen. Nobody wants to listen. Being the voice of reason, sometimes people look at you and think, oh, well, you're just saying this just because you like the company. No, because I've called Nintendo on a bunch of bull crap that they've pulled before. I've called Sony on crap that they've pulled before. I've called Microsoft on crap that they've pulled before. I like all of them for different reasons, but I like all of them. I want gaming to thrive, but I want it to thrive without the people that enjoy it screwing it up. Just like I want it to thrive without the people that make the game screwing it up. But sometimes things are going to happen, and they have to be done in a way that creates a clear and concise message, and people don't get it if you don't do that. People don't get it if you don't do that. If you don't put up a strong front and say, yo, I'm not letting you do this anymore, I'm not letting you continue to do this, people are just going to keep doing it. And then get mad when you say, yo, stop what you're doing. This is not yours to take. This is mine. Put nearly any other person in that position themselves from their perspective. And that's money that's money taken from them to feed their family. That's money taken from them to pay for their house. That's money taken from them to put gas in their car. How many people wouldn't defend that? but Andre, Nintendo's a larger scale. It doesn't matter. It's still the same basic principle. It's still the same basic problem. So if you can't understand it because, oh, this is a $1 billion company, it doesn't make a difference. It's still you taking from someone and them saying, yo, I'm not letting you take that. That's it. That's the cut and dry of it. I'm not allowing you to take my stuff that I made. At that point, that's when you treat the company as the individual. How many, and people bring up, say, no, you don't see this type of thing in the music industry. Do people not remember Napster? What happened with Napster? Remember, Napster was giving out music for free, got sued, had to stop giving out music for free. I mean, that is what happened, right? That's exactly what happened, right? Or are we going to pretend that series of events never came to fruition? I mean, I'm not going to. I lived through it. I remember hearing all this stuff going on about it. But people, stop setting yourself up for failure on purpose. Because it's not accidental. Because you know that there are consequences for certain things and you're just trying to ignore the consequences or say, hey, I'm one of millions. They can't do anything to me, and they're just proving to you that they can. They're proving to you that they can. And I keep trying to tell people, stop going this route because it's not going to work out well in the end. If y'all wanted the ROM sites and all this stuff to stay up, you know what you could have done? Not talked about it. Not gone around gloating about it. Simple as that. I mean, it only took a couple people to really say anything for information to spread about. But then you have a bunch of people going around gloating about it. Yeah, guess what's going to happen? Stuff gets taken down. And you know what else would have worked? If certain sites didn't get paid to, have memberships to be able to download ROMs. Like you shouldn't be collecting money off of the companies that didn't authorize you to redistribute their stuff. Right? But it's about preservation. No, it's not. It's not about preservation. It's about the human desire to want and have things. It's as simple as that. Preservation is a nice cover story, but it's about the human desire to want and have things, and generally by any means necessary. Let's call it what it is. People want to have things, and if they see something that is, ooh, shiny, cool, let me get that. That's how people are. That's how people are. Let's just be real about it. That's why you have so many people envious of celebrities for stuff that celebrities don't even actually pay for. That's why you have an industry where people will run out and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on a goddamn pair of shoes because their favorite celebrity got them for free. I don't think that's why we see so many celebrities in gaming now, because people like certain celebrities and you can use their clout to draw people in. Y'all never thought about that, but that's also why gaming has become more. That's one of the reasons gaming has become more expensive, because you got to pay those people their rates. But that's a different subject. Let me get back on task. If everybody wants to be able to preserve stuff, there are museums. There are gaming museums for that type of stuff. You want preservation and you want to have access to it, I understand. I'm not knocking that. I don't knock that. But I'm not also going to lie to myself about what it is. That's all. I'm just not going to lie to myself about what it is. I'm going to understand that, hey, this is what this is. This is how people are. So for you wanting to have access to something, the company also wanting to be able to control the access to what they created, which is their right because they created it, then you can't be mad at them for saying, hey, yo, just don't take my stuff. Don't take my stuff. Leave my stuff alone. Because in the past, there were companies that really didn't mind it so much. But as time goes on, it's starting to seem like more and more companies do, because being in control over the rights of what you've created and made also means that you can keep a tight hand on how people envision it or show it off. I know people don't like that idea, but it's just how things work for the most part. Yes, fan art falls under certain particular legal precedences that allow it to exist. But we're talking about like on an official capacity. So someone can't go ahead and take official artwork and turn it into something and pretend it's cool that they did it. Legally, you can't. Because at that point, you're manipulating the product, so to speak. But if people, again, want to be able to do what they want to do, why be so loud and boisterous about it? Because that's what created the biggest problem in the first place, that people were loud and boisterous about it. Specifically when it comes down to stuff that's current market. I don't get why you would want to do that with stuff that's current market. Because you could use the excuse, oh, I get better performance on PC, but that's not what matters. And people still pirate on the hardware itself, so that's not a good reason. That's not an all-encompassing reason for it. Thing is, people just like free stuff. People broke, people like free stuff. Understandable. But some things ain't for free. Some things ain't for free. And you got people wanting stuff for free and then having the fear of missing out. It sucks, really. It's going to suck. No matter what. I got to the point where I realized I'm never going to play every video game I've ever wanted to play. Never going to. Just simply because I'm one person. I can't divide myself up like Naruto. So it's impossible to do. I had to concede that to myself years ago. Many years ago. But you got people out here acting like they can't. And that's what's going to get y'all in hot water. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. I think I've stood on my soapbox for a good amount of time. Thank you for anyone that got to this point. Even with my tangents. And hopefully somebody learned something. Hopefully. Can't predict that they did, but hopefully they did. So thank you guys very much for listening in. Keep your eyes and ears out for more stuff from me. And until the next time, enjoy your games and peace out, everybody. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy, and I'd like to thank you once again for tuning in. If you would be interested in supporting my efforts in content creation, please head on over to Amazon and look up The Game Idea Guy Presents Gaming Word Search, and you will find both Volume 1 and Volume 2 up for sale. Thank you very much once again, and I hope to be able to create more content for you in the future. Peace out.